Good morning. So I had a really fun time yesterday doing the telemetry reading. So I figured I would try something similar, but I also did a reading where there was a reflection, and it was talking about being able to acknowledge the two separate sides of something and the reflections. These are filthy because they've had stuff sitting on them, but I'm about to put more stuff on them, so I'm not gonna worry about it. What I wanted to talk about today was transmuting a different type of energy, and I want you to imagine, if you can see, my face is kind of illuminated, lit up, however you want to say that. It's by the reflection of these mirrors, right? And the channeling that I did yesterday had everything to do with realizing those aspects of yourself that you actually need to reflect on or judge for a specific reason. And it's usually the judgmental part of yourself, just if I'm quite honest. The judgmental part of yourself is not the problem. The problem is taking action on those judgments in a way that could injure others, or somehow you just don't want to fly straight into something without looking where you're going, right? And that's what I'm saying, is that if you can continuously feel your own self and feel your own emotions about things, and your own have your own judgments about your own experiences, then you can let them go. And then you don't have to judge other people for whatever was bothering you. So I'll try to find an example. Okay, so let's say these are two towers. I want you to imagine these towers of light, okay? That's what's reflecting on all of us, are these two towers of light. And I want you to choose two demographics for yourself, and you could just do it silently in your head or whatever. I'm actually not going to use this deck right now. It's just got, that's pretty important. That just flipped up. You couldn't see it on camera, but I'll just put it back in the pile because you didn't get to see it manifest. What I'm talking, okay, so I'm just hearing manifest destiny. This is the ability to reflect on that and kind of turn off some of those memories, or turn on some of those memories that will, emergences here, that will serve you. I'm also hearing 21 Savage, but I won't sing that song. These towers of light, you're going to ascribe one demographic that you may have stereotypes, preconceived notions, or assumptions about. Right here. We'll use this deck for that, and then I'll go back to the angelic messenger cards. Can you see? Okay. So to this, we're going to ascribe this butterfly. This light from the butterfly. That was the land, or before you take flight into something, make sure it's well illuminated, is what I'm hearing. And that's because without that illumination, I will come back to that energy in a moment, but there's no way that you can get through this energy without addressing your own energies. I'm just telling you that. So over here, we're going to put another demographic, a second demographic that we struggle with, an idea that we don't necessarily like. I want you to find something that you've judged, is what I'm saying. Saturn, okay? It's really interesting because a lot of people actually do think of Saturn as being very egotistical, where the seat of our own desires are, kind of not in a Venus way. This is more like the things that we are hyper focused on in a if you've never seen the Ringmakers of Saturn, I mean, seen it, if you've never read it, I would go take a quick look. It's super interesting, but it is about a nation of people whose job it is to maintain the heavens. Okay, so this is that's the energy I'm getting here. When we think about this bifocal ability to look down from the top down, right? Or when we think about our bifurcated thinking, our two-pronged tongues, all of these things I want you to separate into what you may be perceiving or what you may be wanting to fly right into. This light that's coming off of these towers of light that we're imagining, that we are reimagining right now, this is the lighthouse. This is the light that is shining from above and below simultaneously. We'll just say, and I'm going to let you describe which one goes where, but one of them is above and one of them is below. So this is the kind of energy that does get kind of judgy. Once you have firmly in your mind the two demographics that you have judged or that you have somehow excommunicated in your mind, right? Then I want you to think about, if you had to choose between the two, which one would you choose and why? If you had to actually commit to living the rest of your life with one of these two assumptions, one of these two individual ideas, thoughts, demographics of people, I don't really care what you put here. I'm using these as the example. So I'm gonna relate to myself in this example so that you can possibly understand what I'm trying to say. The other day, I did a reading that I was dressed quite provocatively. And I actually stated several times I was extremely uncomfortable. That's an area in my life where I have readily judged other people based off their looks, based off of the information I had received from one side or the other, from a whole plethora of things, okay? There's just a lot of different factors that can go into that. What I'm going to surmise from this is that, like I said, I do need to work on that, identifying the same energy inside of myself. So in that way, that's how we move energy around, is not by trying to control someone else. You can't force other people to do anything. And I will say, if you've ever had someone in your life that just is stubborn, I can be stubborn as all get out, but I also can be mutable. Yeah, here's vulnerability in the reverse coming out. This is there's a video that I really like. It's blessings coming right out. There's a video that I really like watching because I do believe in paranormal, in spirituality, and in the power of human species, right? I believe in that power, but I also believe in the power of your mind. And I do believe that you are just a spiritual being riding around in a human vessel. And so that being the case, the video that shows this light shooting from, it's like the temple in Israel. It's so fast, it's so pervasive, and there's really no explanation for it. At least not, one that could be explained to us humans. So that being the case, this is the same energy. It's the same frequency of give and receive, take and give. If you cannot do one, then you cannot do the other. There's courage. So if you don't have the wherewithal to discontinue these vulnerable thought processes that do take a lot of courage to think about, that do take a lot of courage to confront, and that actually have now lit up the skies, lit up everything around them. These are the things of curiosity. This is where the wild things dance. This is where they are. And they have a wild rumpus. Okay? So that's what this vulnerability is. Nobody needs to feel guilty, shameful. You can feel all those things, but you don't need to, is what I'm trying to reiterate. That if you're willing to reflect on the origin of that thought, of that judgment of self, of that pressure from that outside pressure from society, that is more or less probably going to be what it is that you're going to actually end up confronting. There's release, number 23. So you will find a portion or a piece of yourself in realizing the ways that you are vulnerable in your judgment, or vulnerable in your inability to accept what is. Then here, there's this confrontation with ego. And it's not confrontation in a bad way. It is literally, like I just said, realizing, you know what? I'm kind of judgy towards other humans about X, Y, and Z, and this is why. This was the root cause, and this is the way it played out. You know what I'm saying? These two things are connected in their release of energy, the release of power, or this, if you had to just choose only power or only empire to watch for the rest of your life on TV, I'm trying to simplify and kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Which series would you choose, right? People aren't necessarily thinking like that. They're not thinking I have to make a choice one way or the other. And I think that when you feel like you're being forced into making decisions, choosing things, or this divine guidance coming right out, or when you're somehow being, I'm hearing coerced. Here's willpower. Wow. So this is now vulnerability number 13 in reverse. Then we have divine guidance straight down the middle, and then willpower. So I want to show you how this is coming out. This is a butterfly, obviously. Sorry, I don't want to be stating the obvious. This is the vulnerability that you will no longer feel. So after, that was a reading that I did the other day, was one that I've already been processing in my mind for a really long time. Emergence is coming back out at the bottom of the deck. But it's also something that is a very personal journey, this entire spirituality. And it holding a spiritual space for yourself includes acknowledging all energy. It's what's inside of me. Is energy, right? It's inside of you. It's inside of every person, place, and thing. Yeah, here's expansiveness. Number 3. When you've made your decision about which lifestyle you can live, whether it's going to be, the holding on to that thing for dear life, okay? Because you're scared it's going to fly away instead of flying in. It's going to disappear. It's going to evaporate. It's going to eviscerate me emotionally if I let it in. There's so many reasons that we can turn a blind eye to our fear, to our discontentment, and to the things that we've just become accustomed to. You know, when you get a divorce from somebody and you're getting like alimony, like all the monies is coming to you, right? That's what I mean by that. It's the same difference. It's knowing when to cup your hands to hold a butterfly versus the expansive ego that with persons, places, and things. I'm not just trying to list nouns, I promise, but I'm just trying to help you understand how this could apply to verbs and adjectives also, but we'll just stick with nouns for the time being. This is the Saturn energy. This is AEIOU. This is sometimes Y, right? And then we also have the option not to ask why anymore and stop being vulnerable. Be more expansive. So a certain amount of expansive mindset can be really overwhelming, especially if you don't necessarily have yourself rooted or grounded, right? But if you're able to see, this is the wingspan of the jet, right? This is the Jetsons, not the Flintstones at the moment. And this is what I'm saying. If you had to choose to live with the Jetsons or the Flintstones, who would you choose? Did you get to choose your parents? Because that was two energies exchanging energies that created you, right? There was the ego of a man, like a twinkle in your dad's eye. I'm just seeing the reflection on my face. And then your mother has the ability to obviously cocoon you in her womb and then let you take flight. Be expansive. Spread that wingspan out whenever you're ready to leave the nest. And that is that you don't want to leave the nest and then just crash. You want to leave the nest and succeed. So I'm not sure if I was very clear. I might have to rehash or revamp or whatever. Rehash this video. Yeah, this is just watching energy. So soulmate watching energy. Oh, we went soulmate watching today. You know, you got people watching. When you watch yourself or when you just like really enjoy your own company, you could call it soulmate watching. I think that's appropriate. So good luck soulmate watching, viewing, remotely or otherwise.